feet of floodwater was left behind from Hurricane Debbie, and I'm following along with one crew as they work to help neighbors recover from both Adalia and Debbie.
More than 100 people have died, with at least 25 in Georgia and 11 here in Florida. You tell us that you've been through 3 storms. How and why are you staying so resilient?
Attorneys for the grandmother accused of murdering FSU law professor Dan Markell are now asking for the case to be thrown out.
Glennon tells me the problem is this. When you're traveling north on Centerville Road, you have to make a stop to turn left on Harpers Ferry Drive. Sometimes when you make that stop, the driver behind you might not be paying attention.
Did the city offer any kind of incentive or any kind of subsidy to get JetBlue here in Tallahassee? And I'm here to explain to you 2 ways that people are taking advantage of neighbors. One is through the mail. The other is right on your phone. There are 20,000 of their customers out of power. That's about 37% of the people that they serve. And I just checked with Tallahassee City Utilities. There are currently 1,491 customers without power right now. The damage in this home tells you a lot about the conditions right after the storm. You can see this line on the wall. It shows how far that water came up. Does it feel like it's been 10 years? I'm at the Tallahassee Animal Shelter where many dogs like this one are waiting to find a new home.
4 days after Hurricane Helene made landfall, we're still seeing the impacts and devastation right here in Florida and all along the southeast. More than 100 people have died, with at least 25 in Georgia and 11 here in Florida. We're still seeing those impacts, and many still don't have power, including communities in the Big Bend and South Georgia. Right here in Steinhatchee, rubble can be seen on every corner. Pieces of debris in the area were once a part of Roy's Restaurant. Their owner is just one of hundreds still trying to grapple with what Helene left behind.
I think I was prepared for the worst. And sure enough, here we are.
Linda Wicker says Roy's Restaurant was lifted off its foundation from Helene's historic 9-foot storm surge.
I think you and I sat right back about where that pipe is.
I spoke with her after she had just finished renovating in January, after Adalia brought severe damage to the property.
This is the roof that was over here on this building.
She says they will start over again, but now it's even worse and has left her community devastated.
It's a war zone. It's your worst nightmare. We have 30 employees without a job, so we need help with that.
And that's what neighbors have been jumping in to do.
It's the least we can do.
Cisco Jacksonville set up a free food station right next to Roy's. At nearby McDavid's Cafe, Ashley and Richard McDavid say their customers have brought in food, water, and other essentials. They rode out the storm in Steinhatchee.
We didn't think the house was going to hold up. I mean, it sounded like upstairs, that it was just ripping the upstairs apart.
That's what the storm did to many homes. That's why Hope Florida, Sunshine Health, Taylor County Health Department, and others have set up at the Steinhatchee Community Center. They're handing out food, water, and hygiene supplies, as well as working on getting neighbors temporary housing. The outpouring of support is something the McDavids say keep them resilient.
We've had people ask us, why do you live here? Well, that's why.
Taylor County officials have extended their curfew until further notice. But if you do need anything during the day, the community center is open from 9 until 7. I'm Kendall Brandt, live here in Steinhatchee. And next, we're going over to Valdosta with our neighborhood reporter, AJ Douglas. She was there as former President Trump visited the area.
40 crashes in 1 year's time, the latest involving a Tallahassee police SUV. This is video you'll only see on ABC 27. Our cameras were rolling as deputies directed traffic around the scene on Thomasville Road. Now we're working to find out how it happened in the first place. I'm Kendall Brandt, your neighborhood reporter in Northeast Tallahassee. Traffic is moving along again at the intersection of Thomasville Road and McClay Road where that crash happened. But neighbors I spoke with tell me that this is one part of a large pattern.
You knew it was a crash. And it's not the first time, so we know the sound.
Gloria Arias says she was in her Killarney Estates home when a 3-car crash involving a TPD patrol car happened less than a quarter of a mile away on Sunday. I checked Tallahassee online police statistics. It's the 40th crash to happen here in 1 year.
We've had a number of accidents in our front yards, by people just not watching the road.
She tells me she was not surprised this happened, with traffic on Killarney Way frequently backed up.
That's a lot of stacking up of cars and a lot of frustration builds. By the time they're that fourth car, they're going to make it across Thomasville Road any way they can.
Tallahassee police confirmed with me Monday afternoon that the crash happened as a TPD car with lights and sirens turned on traveled north on Thomasville Road. They say a car traveling from Killarney Way straight to Maclay hit the patrol car. They did not specify how the third vehicle was involved. I asked local Allstate auto insurance agent Tom Patterson why this intersection sees so many crashes.
It's a perfect mixture of out of town, rush hour, shopping, school, and it's all happening at that one little junction.
And signs of those crashes can still be seen.
You can drive through that area and there's always car parts and glass on the ground. And it's hard to figure out which accident it came from.
Now, he tells me drivers are paying the price.
Because of the frequency and severity in car accidents, the base rates are going up along with inflation.
Frightening. It's really frightening.
Until those crashes stop, Arias tells me she'll be listening closely to traffic.
When I have time, I run up there as fast as I can to see if it's anybody I know.
She says lengthening the signal time for drivers traveling Maclay and Killarney may help.
And I think if they would really seriously take a look at that, it would help people feel less frustrated because they could actually get out and get to work.
Law enforcement officials with Tallahassee Police Department say that there were no significant injuries reported as a result of this crash. In Northeast Tallahassee, Kendall Brandt, ABC 27. More than 10 years after the murder of Florida State law professor Dan Markell in this neighborhood, we're hearing reaction to the pushback trial of Donna Adelson. I'm Kendall Brandt in the Midtown neighborhood. I told you Tuesday that Donna Adelson's trial has been continued after one of her attorneys withdrew from the case. Now I'm taking a look at how this is impacting the court and how one of Markell's friends is feeling. State Attorney Jack Campbell says a lot of work went into this case.
I've been involved in a lot of trials. I've not been involved in anything bigger than this one.
What he's talking about, the trial of Donna Adelson, a woman accused of working with her son Charlie to murder her ex-son-in-law Dan Markell. Jury selection was set to start Tuesday with the same attorney her son used, Dan Roshbaum.
So as a result, I need to withdraw from the case.
But Roshbaum withdrew after Charlie invoked his Sixth Amendment right to not have his former lawyer represent his mother. Campbell says Charlie previously signed a waiver to allow Roshbaum's representation.
We wouldn't have gotten this far and done all the things we did if we didn't think we were going to go to trial this week.
It's a case he says has taken lots of resources to get off the ground, and the continuance will cost the state attorney's office
Tens of thousands of dollars.
Can you kind of talk about the burden that this placed on the court?
And the community. 600 people were summoned for potential jurors for this.
He says the Markell family was headed to Florida from Canada when the trial was pushed back. I spoke with Donna's new defense attorney, Alex Morris, who says this was not anticipated by the defense team.
There were waivers in place that seemingly resolved the conflict issue, but as is anyone's right in that circumstance, their consent or their permission was revoked.
He said it was also hard on Donna.
It's been a stressful day for Mrs. Adelson, no doubt about that.
I spoke with one of Markell's friends, Jason Solomon, who's a part of the group Justice for Dan. He says he was disappointed to see the delay, but says he knows justice will be served.
2 of them are in jail. They're not getting out anytime soon. Because of the steadfastness and skill of the state attorney's office.
Morris told me he expects the trial to start between November and February. Campbell says he's not as sure about that timeline, but the state attorney says he is confident in his team.
Georgia Kappelman is one of the best trial attorneys in America. There's nothing that we're not watching and trying, and I mean, it's a pretty big chess game.
Donna next appears in court October 15th for case management. In Midtown, Kendall Brandt, ABC 27.